to always like keep talking. That way it kind of picks up normal stuff.
That gets really annoying sometimes. You should shut the fuck up.
You're right, Neckbeard. Listen.
Neckbeard? Look who's fucking talking. You bitch.
I only said it so we would get. So I only said it to wake you up.
Yeah.
But I think we're good. I think we're going now. Here, I'm gonna take this down just so it doesn't distract us too much. It's still in the background. Our Anchor software. By the way, this podcast is started by Anchor, and welcome to the podcast.
Brought to you by
Anchor. My name is RJ Moore, and this is episode 1 of the Lil Podcast. Hopefully, you give us a chance to entertain those beautiful little earlobes of yours. I'm with a very drunk Steven Plucinik.
Hello.
Now,
how you doing?
He goes by ReapGrimmer.
ReapGrimmer, correct.
ReapGrimmer on two.
Right.
Yeah, and so I mean, I guess I pretty much want to have you on to discuss what it's like to start up a YouTube channel and maybe some steps that you've taken, some steps that I've taken, some steps that we've heard of other people take on setting up a YouTube channel. So, like, I guess the first thing I want to ask you, Steven, or Reap, if you are looking for his online handle, what's maybe one of the biggest things, one of the most important things that you think that comes to mind when you're thinking about starting up a YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually, because I've been trying for a while to, like, really get a solid YouTube channel going, but I just don't know where to start sometimes. Actually, no, to this day. And one thing I've found really, really important is that you gotta know what the theme of your channel is about. You know, you gotta have a solid thing that you really stand for. Like, right. What do you believe in? What's your passion? And then once you get that, you kind of just have to make videos and observe yourself on those videos and see what you can do better, see what you can add in. Also, comments from the audience helps a lot too, so encourage your audience to interact with you. Because if you don't, then they're just going to be like, well, he doesn't care, so
right.
I'm just going to watch this video and go away.
Basically, that's what it's like, man. Like, I can't tell you how many, like videos that I posted on my small YouTube channel where I post the video after I finished it and edited it and recorded it and all this and that and the third, and I'm watching it myself, and I think to myself, I'm not sure how many people this is going to connect with, or if this is actually going to make me not just a monetary profit, but make me any social profit or any. Is it going to get me any clout? Is it going to get me to a point where I'm actually getting attention? That's what clout is, by the way. It's like a slang term for basically attention or popularity. I'm wondering if this video is going to get me any clout, if it's going to get me any popularity at all, or not just popular, but attention and viewers, people, an actual audience, right? It's a good way to put it. And your whole point about making sure that you have a solid idea of what you want your channel to be about, I think that's very important. Like with this channel, I just want it to be like, well, with my podcast, I want it just to be people talking to me. That's all I want it to be, and when it comes to my different series and stuff, I just want it to be, stuff that I think up, reviews, things like that. But I think before, a big problem I was having was just not knowing exactly what I wanted to talk about and exactly what I wanted to do.
Right.
But once you actually get the self-esteem, the confidence, the motivation to go ahead and actually do it, that's when it starts kind of falling into place. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, as far as getting motivated and doing the shit that you want to do. But as far as starting a YouTube channel, I totally agree with you. I think a big part of it is about knowing what the fuck you want to talk about and just doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and appealing to the audience you want to have. So, speaking of that, speaking of the whole idea of figuring out what the fuck you're doing as far as being a YouTuber and being an internet personality, what's something that you want the ReapGrimmer channel to be about, Steven?
Honestly?
Full disclaimer, this is not a therapy session. Alright, this is just us asking each other, point blank, different questions.
Right. And that's kind of similar to my basis on my channel, I guess, is... No matter what I'm posting videos about, whether it's, stuff I like to do or just interacting with different people, like a vlog type thing, I'm going to want to put an end of the day or end of the video analysis where people can take something from it and learn how to love more than to hate. Because I've noticed in this world there's just a lot of negative energy going around, and it's sad sometimes to watch. Because, it's unnecessary. It doesn't need to be there, but people are too worried about either themselves, like self-consciously, or people are just trying to be something that they're not, and it causes a bunch of negative energy.
Right.
Because people don't feel free to be who they are.
Right.
But I want to let people know that whoever you are, whatever you like to do, it's okay. Like, you do, man. Or girl.
Right.
Like,
you
are who you are.
Yeah.
So don't feel uncomfortable with it.
I feel like that's a big issue. Like, a really big issue for a lot of internet content creators and influencers, where it's like, whether you're starting at the beginning or whether you have a career that's been a decade long, you made millions of dollars. It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on. It's like, for a lot of us content creators, we fall into a weird cycle of being being something else, like you're saying, of wanting to cowtail, or wanting to cater, to this certain demographic, that certain demographic. Therefore, I must act a different way, and it's almost like trying to make a friend or get laid or get a job or anything like that. When you want someone to like you, you shouldn't find yourself having to cowtail to certain people and having to change yourself up.
Definitely getting laid. That shit's like you have to do some magic tricks.
Yeah. But you gotta do magic tricks with what you have. You shouldn't do magic tricks with, like extra bullshit and try to be someone else. But it is. It's like
That's the key. A lot of people are missing. Like, you can do whatever you want. You just gotta do it your own way. People are gonna find that more interesting than doing it everybody else's way.
Right.
Like, fuck that.
Yeah. Basically,
So generic.
Yeah. It's very generic. We have a lot of people trying to do that. Not to throw any particular YouTuber under the bus, but you have a lot of different YouTubers that are way bigger than I am, way bigger than both of us are.
Shout out to PewDiePie.
Shout out to PewDiePie, yo! Give us some money. No, I'm joking. Kinda, but really, there's a few examples I can think of. Not even YouTubers, but people who people in business, like, that comes to mind a lot. Like, there's this girl. God, did you hear about that? This girl is I forget her name, but she started up a company that did like IVs. Like, it was a blood testing company, and she pretty much was telling people that she had this technology that would take a drop of your blood and was able to do all different types of testing. You could find out about diabetes, and it would test you for, I assume STDs and different things like that. She'd do blood testing with just a drop of blood. And I know that's been a big thing in the medical community for a while, to take a small amount of blood and be able to test it for different things.
Absolutely.
And I believe she actually had something going. Like, she had a company, and I think they had some, I'm not sure about this, but I think they had some sort of technology that could do something like that. But pretty much after a while, it kind of went out of hand. And instead of taking money and developing her technology, which is what most business leaders do, you have an idea, you make money from that idea and use that money to improve the idea. She just had this idea and got the money, but didn't use the money to develop the idea. She was just taking people's money and saying, oh no, it's on its way, don't worry, our blood testing is coming, don't worry, and it never came. And it turns out she was scamming all of her investors and scamming the American public.
That's a bunch of irresponsibility.
Yeah.
And I feel like she wasn't really fully devoted to her idea.
More than likely, yeah. She pretty much pulled a Jussie Smollett. Like, she pulled a Smollett on us. Like, she was just lying to the American public about this small little idea, and saying it was this big thing, and it really wasn't. I know it's very different. Jussie Smollett, he lied about, some fake hate crime and this, that, and the third. But but she's lying about, being able to help people medically. I'm not going to talk about which one's worse. They're both pieces of shit at the end of the day.
By the way, audience, this is a pro tip. Pro tip for life.
Pro tip.
Actions speak louder than words.
They do. They definitely do.
So if you want to make a fucking impact, stop fucking talking and get your shit done.
Exactly. I guess that's something to do with the blood testing lady, and then maybe perhaps Jesse Smollett and the whole idea of starting something. You know what I mean? It takes more than just talking about something to start something, and then really that's why I wanted to have you, Stephen, on this first show, is because again we're starting small, and this is the whole show about getting things going and getting things started. And I feel like that's something as a person you hold pretty near and dear to your heart. Like seriously, not trying to be bitches about it, but it's something that you genuinely find important. Is getting your stuff done and trying to at least trying to get your stuff done, at least trying to actually do stuff and be motivated and move instead of just being stagnant and not doing anything.
Right, because you've known me for a while, like
7 years,
like,
7 years now.
I don't talk much about shit I want to do, but when I talk about it, I'm really about it.
Right.
Like, I'm really trying to chase that. Trying to eat my words. Because I'm hungry. Look at RJ over here just whistling through his little dildo.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, guys. I'm in the background training for the North American whistling competition.
Oh my.
That's what that noise is. It's the North American whistling competition. But yeah, once again, if you stayed this long, thank you and welcome to the channel. I'm planning on putting out a lot more content, and especially when it comes to this podcast. This is just something to get used to the software I'm using and to get used to the Chromebook I'm using and all that, and but I'm really looking to have a lot more of my podcast be, I don't want to say serious, but more like constructed, like more put together and more planned out. Not that this one isn't, but if you couldn't tell, we've had a few drinks and we have been smoking quite a bit.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Smoking oregano since we live in Virginia, but a lot of oregano.
God. Oh my fucking god, RJ! Too many details.
Man, they'll be okay. All right. Now, I guess just going past the whole idea of starting up a YouTube channel and getting yourself into a mindset where you want to actually go ahead and do a YouTube channel. Let's talk about what you can make a YouTube channel about. And that really, that's the main reason I wanted you on here, man, is because I know with your channel that you really want to have a focus on extreme sports. On my channel, I don't want to have a focus on like art media and kind of talking and podcasts and all that, like talk show stuff and like intellectual stuff. And I know that on your channel, you want to kind of do like an intellectual thing mixed with kind of vlogging and mixed with what you're doing in your life, mixed with like mountain biking and vaping and stuff like that. You want to maybe tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I guess what the whole gist of it is alright, everybody's got troubles. Everybody has their obstacles they gotta go through.
Wait, Steven, do you need a moment, dude? Do you want to
No, I'm good.
Everyone's got he's good. He's gonna soldier through.
Yeah, but everybody has their obstacles they have to go through, and my basis is basically like, whatever you got going on, there is something you can do to better yourself or do what you want to do and make yourself happy. Like, you might have to, tweak. What am I trying to say here?
Like your lifestyle, maybe tweak your lifestyle or tweak your...
Sure, tweak your lifestyle or like...
Your mindset?
Change how you do things. Because I know with physical disabilities, I know because I have arthritis, it really fucking sucks. And I have to change the way I open bottles or like grab things and reach for things. So... I guess adapting, basically.
You're right. Kind of adapting.
When you adapt to something, that means you're ready to take on the next obstacle because you're constantly going to be adapting.
Right.
To whatever. So basically, I'm just trying to get people out there more confident in themselves, even if they have these disabilities and obstacles to go through, whether they're mental or physical, emotional, whatever have you. Things can be done. Like, it's not over. It's only over when you decide to close your eyes and never open them again. You know what I'm saying?
Holy fuck. I was whistling again, but I heard the tail end of what you just said, and I like how you put that. Like seriously, all jokes aside, I like how you kind of put that, it's not over till you close your eyes and decide not to open them again. I think that's a really good metaphor for overcoming obstacles and kind of getting to the place you want to be. I mean, it's really up to you, man. You can get fired. You can have some girl leave you. You can fucking have, your parents tell you ain't shit. You can have something happen with a family member or a good friend or a loved one, whatever. But it's not over till you decide to close your eyes and say it's over. I do think that's a really interesting way of putting it, dude. Seriously. It's really, really, really cool. And I mean, it's obvious, but I do agree with that. As far as the mountain biking and the downhill biking, something that you want to make your channel about, I think that's a big thing. Is understanding that when it comes to mountain biking or boxing or anything that's like a technical sport, because it's different than running. I mean, anybody can run. Yeah. Anyone can. I mean, take a bat and swing it. And again, I'm not underplaying people who are professional runners. I have a younger cousin in high school, and she's a professional runner, and she kills it. I have a younger brother. He does high school football. He kills it. So not to underestimate a more traditional sports. When it comes to extreme sports, when it comes to mountain biking, skateboarding, if we were on the dog planet, skateboarding. But when it comes to skateboarding, roller skating, bungee jumping, parasailing, free jumping, all this stuff, these extreme sports, it seems like it takes a bit of a push. If you're someone who likes basketball or baseball or football, you're someone who's kind of an adrenaline junkie. But to be someone who wants to do downhill biking as a sport solely, you're probably really an adrenaline junkie. And again, your average football player might have more traditional athleticism, but just because you're a downhill biker does not mean that you're not working yourself. And that's kind of the point that I want to bring out of you, is that this downhill biking actually is. I mean, it's a good workout. I mean, because you and me, I brought my bike down the river that one time. It was in Colonial Heights, Virginia, and it was on the northern bank of the Appomattox, and that's where we were fishing and shit. And I brought my bike down. You got on it for a minute. You're like, holy shit, man, you biked all the way down here with this? And I was like, yeah. It wasn't until you said that it wasn't until you kind of said that I realized, like, well, shit, I did bike a few miles on this, and you and I went up and down like those hills and shit that were out there. You basically went up those hills that were out there, dude.
I went all around that shit.
Yeah, like all around that whole park area, and you came back with the bike, and you were like, whew. There we go. All right, but again, like you crushed it. You could tell that you had pretty much. I mean, you had warmed up already. Like that's more than a warm up. You know what I mean? Like you're just. So it kind of showed me at that moment, like, wow, I have exerted a lot of energy today, and so did Steven, warming up, going up and down these like hills and shit, because those were fucking. I mean, kind of like steep, like not dunes, but it's like that hill up towards the parking lot. That shit got kind of steep. Yeah, and I saw you bike up that.
It wasn't too bad, but it was still enough to like, damn, this is a climb.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But, I agree, though, like, there's a difference between traditional sports like baseball and football and soccer, or European football, and mountain biking or rollerblading or skateboarding. Like, a lot of that, not only does it take physical energy, it requires mental energy too, because you have to be constantly, within split seconds of viewing what you got in front of you and how you're going to get through it. So it's like, it's a whole obstacle course in itself. Totally kind of relevant to like your spiritual obstacles, like whether you know what I'm talking about.
Right. It's like when it comes to like spirit, like when it comes to like deep shit you're thinking about. You know what I mean? Exactly. We don't want to trigger anybody, get anybody, thinking about their own shit too much. But right, I think that what Steven said is what you just said was a really good point. It's like whatever your personal shit you're going through, it's like the mountain biking or the skateboarding or even the traditional football, basketball, baseball, running, hike, whatever. That's those obstacles that you're dealing with physically really do mirror emotional obstacles that we all deal with. I don't care who you are. I don't care how special you think you are. Everyone's been through something that is like crushed them at their core. You know, and I think we all have been. And guess what? It doesn't get any better. If you're someone our age who's like in their early to mid 20s, like, well, it doesn't get any better. You're gonna go through maybe even worse shit. But it's one of those things where, yeah, I do definitely agree. When I'm out and I'm like doing something like I'm trail running, you know what I mean? Like I was a fat kid growing up. You know, all the time. I was always the fattest one in the group. What the fuck am I doing trail running? What the hell? But when I'm trail running, it's like holy shit. Like I'm overcoming, you know, like deep. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a bitch, but like deep trauma, man. That was the main thing that I would get bullied for, and that I felt, you know, left behind about. And the thing that girls would reject me over was always my weight. Was always how fat I was. So the fact that I'm out here trail running, it is really kind of overcoming some type of trauma that I went through. As you know, someone who's younger than I am now, and it's very healthy. And I think that, again, it goes into starting a YouTube channel and all that. Basically, I mean, just extreme sports, and not even extreme, but just sports. Getting active as a young man, to be active and to do what the fuck you need to do, and to tone your body up and fucking have yourself feeling better. You're sleeping better, fucking better, eating better. That's incredible, man. That isn't for real. It's serious. It's an incredible feeling. And I think that kind of goes into something I wanted to talk about, which is just getting motivated to get out and actually do the stuff like that. Because I know anyone who's listening knows that everything I'm saying, it should ring a bell in everyone's head. We've all been there, where you do something you don't think you could do, and you feel really good about it.
Oh yeah, I can tell you right now, this whole conversation has been resonating with everybody.
I would hope so. I would really hope so. I think the only issue with that is getting to the place where you're on the bike, getting to the place where you're at the job, it's been 2 months, you're making money, getting to the place where, hey, I've got my channel going, it's been a year, I'm making some money, or I've got some subs, or I'm happy and I'm doing my thing. To get to that place, I think it does take consistent motivation from yourself and from the good people around you, but we got to start with the person. So, like, I guess the question I have to you when it comes to your channel and the getting out and being active and all that is how exactly. And I want to do a follow-up, by the way. I want to see where we're at in, like, maybe in a month or two. And maybe have, like, the same exact conversation on, like, podcast number 20. But right now I want to ask you here, Steven, like, what helps you personally as someone who wants to be active, someone who is active, and someone who is a musician, you know, and someone who has gone through depression and kind of come out of it and done incredible things out of your depression. What gets you motivated? And I'll answer after this, but I want to ask you first, what gets you motivated to get to that point where you're at the place where you're doing good and you feel motivated?
Right. I can't really tell too much about how that, when I was in a band, how that formed and what my mindset was. Because, I mean, it was kind of just like blind faith, pretty much. I just wanted to do it. I wanted people on board with it, so I found some people that were willing to, form a band, and we started writing some shit.
I remember, and no offense, but little emo Steven in high school, I remember I didn't even know you then. We went to the same high school in northern Chesterfield County, and I didn't even know you back then, man, but I remember seeing you on like the wall standing and shit, and I remember you being in a band, and I was friends with one of your bandmates, Erica Tamperino, because me and her did a theater class together, because I was a total theater fag back in the day, and I say that with all due respect and all love. I'm heterosexual, but I love my theater fags. Yeah, for real. Wasn't for gay theater guys, man. Seriously, like that. Yeah, y'all are cool. But I was in theater and stuff, and she was also in theater. And I remember her being like this rocker girl, and I thought she was kind of cute, to be honest. But I yeah, right. She is not to be weird, but yeah, Erica is a beautiful girl. But anyway, but yeah, I saw you guys all hanging out, and I knew you guys were in a band, and I also knew someone I grew up with who was in your band as well, Sean Rodas. And I don't think he'll mind us saying his name. He loves publicity. I don't think he'll mind. Oh yeah,
check his YouTube channel out, Sean Rodas. Spelled with a SH, not a that scene spelling.
Yeah, SH. Yep, yeah. It's not Sean like SEAN. It's Sean SHAWN.
No,
isn't it? Is it? That's how he spells his name. Yeah, Sean SHAWN. Yeah, like an American. He's like Filipino. He's American. Yo, Sean might have to be the next guest on here, bro. Because Sean, I get a picture of him wondering, anyway, so when I was 12, I became the sun god. It's like, nigga, what? What are you talking about, Sean? Nigga, I knew you was 12, nigga. Alright, but anyways, God, what the fuck was I talking about?
You were.
Yeah, when I knew you in high school, and you, Sean, and Erica kind of teamed up and started the band. Yeah, I just remember that being a thing, and like, you know, and I knew y'all were doing something. I saw you guys were performing at the Canal Club in downtown Richmond, and that's what made me realize, like, oh shit, like that's real, like they're actually in a fucking band, they're making music. You know, it wasn't, you know, I didn't think I was a real actor until I got on stage in Richmond somewhere. You know, it's not until you, like, you know, go outside of your community and go to the big city and do something, that's when you realize, oh shit, like this is real. Like I just made some money tonight. I just made a profit. Like, what the fuck?
It wasn't much, but, you know, it was still a reward. Mm-hmm. Just being up on stage, and, like, I had one solo throughout our songs, rather, and, like, I nailed that shit. Even though I was, my first concert that I played at, like, I was getting over food poisoning. So it was real rough.
Whoa.
Like, I woke up that day, I remember, and, like, the bandmates called me up, and they were like, yo, you gotta get up, yo.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. I really do. I gotta do this. I gotta get that solo. We gotta do rehearsal real quick. Get our shit packed up and get on the road.
Hell yeah. Make that sound check and shit.
So we.
Well, real quick, we'll just slow down real quick. So you were like recovering from food poisoning, and y'all had a gig that night. Like, y'all got in a gig, and they're like, "Hey man, like we really need you."
Yeah.
Did you know about the gig like beforehand, or was this like a last minute thing, or?
Yeah, no, I knew about it, and like I had started getting sick like a few nights previous, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I hope this goes away before our concert comes."
Right.
And it didn't. It's because the night before I was throwing up, and like that morning actually I threw up. And I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Yo.
And they called and they're like, hey man, like we're like the show's still on, like are you good? And you're like, I'm still sick. And they're like, dude, you gotta get up, bro.
Yeah.
Like we need you for this.
So I had to really just get my shit together and act like I was okay. And I made it through the night. I got my solo. I did everything all right. I played decently. I made a few mistakes here and there, but I still did the show. And that's when everything's like, yes, I got this. Right. If I can do this when I'm fucked up, I can do it any other time.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, oh man. That really is, as a performer, as a fellow performer, I do get that. It's like when you can prove to yourself that you can do it under any circumstances, that's how you know you can. I remember one time, and this makes me feel like a bitch after hearing your story, because my story, I wasn't even really sick. I was just, I smoked too much weed before I had to go on stage. Yeah, it was like Clover Hill High School, man, in northern Chesterfield, where we both went to school. And I was playing like an Indian chief in Annie Get Your Gun. I was playing Chief Sitting Bull. I was Chief Sitting Bull. And it's funny because my German teacher, Mr. Rimpies, if you out there, Rimpies, Herr Rimpies, yo, Herr Rimpies, let's go. I remember he used to call me Chief Talking Bull instead of Sitting Bull, because I was always talking shit to him in class, and I did, because I liked the guy and he liked me, but we had like a weird like love-hate which, by the way, that's a relationship I had with all my friends. But it was like this weird love-hate thing, where it was
aggressive love.
It's just an aggressive love. It's like a love. Yeah, it's like a love. It's like under the surface, but you know it's there, right? He used to call me Chief Talking Bull. Anyways, I was playing Chief Sitting Bull for Annie Get Your Gun. And I remember one night, I think it was on the Saturday showing, because in high school you only do like 3 shows, like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Maybe a Sunday show if the show makes enough money. That's always the big hook. If the show makes enough money, you get a 4th show. If not, fuck you kids, go back to class. But but yeah, so I think it was a Saturday night showing. I think we actually had earned a Sunday spot, but I got real high with all my homies before the show, and my homies, by the way, most of them were on crew. So even though they were high, they could still do their job. I was one of the main performers. And this is how I learned one of my first lessons in getting fucked up and trying to put on a show. I remember I was on stage, and we had smoked so much before. So much. And I was so high. And I forget, I might have smoked in costume or not. I'm not sure. But I remember going outside to my car, into the parking lot, and smoking with people, and coming back and eating and shit. And I'm on stage during this is the first half. I'm sorry. I totally got that fucked up. I smoked before the whole show. It wasn't during the intermission. I smoked before the whole show. And I remember I was on stage, and that's when I went out to the parking lot and all that before the show. I was on stage and I'm smoking, and I'm forgetting whole lines. And like that's the worst for a stage actor, dude. I'm forgetting whole lines, whole monologues, and people are skipping over my shit because they have to. Because I'm just some dummy sitting there. I'm a junior in high school. Like, yes, we must go to the mountain, and I'm just staring off into space. So like, the girl playing Annie is like, I remember her name was Kaylee Hansen. She won't mind me giving her name. Hopefully, she's a singer. You can still look her up. She moved up to the mountains, but she still sings and does local talent shows and all that. Kaylee Hansen. She's a great singer, and Kaylee, she would just go over my lines. Like, she would just be like, okay, anyways, I'm going down the trail here to get my gun. I'm Annie, I'm getting my gun. Like, she would just go over my lines and say what she had to say. And I was so, and again, it wasn't really that noticeable, but I knew. Like, the audience couldn't really tell, but I knew. Like, you know what I mean? Because I would stop saying my line, I would go off into space, and she would just kind of like say her line next. It wasn't too bad, but like, you know, but again, like, I knew. Like, the audience didn't know, but like, I definitely knew. And I remember, you know, standing in front of the mirror, just looking at myself and being like, dude, you gotta get it together. Like, you gotta fucking get it together. And I'm sitting there just like, I gotta get it together. And like, sober me is like, yo, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? I'm tore up, bro. And I remember, a good friend of mine, you know, and I kind of like crushed on her when we were like younger, but it kind of fizzled out at that point. She was just a friend. And she walked up and she was like, are you okay? You good? And I was like, yeah, I'm fucked up, man. I'm high, Sarah. I'm so high. And she was like, it's all right. You got it. You'll get through it. And then I think, it was funny. Another guy I was cool with who actually, they ended up dating. They were dating like throughout high school. He came up and he was like, hey man, you good? And I was like, no, Brian, I'm not good, man. He's like, all right, man, you got it. Like, you got it, man. Just keep going. Keep doing your thing. And I was like, all right. You're right. And I went on the next half and I crushed the second half. I still felt bad because I knew I wasn't my best. Yeah, you know what I mean? But I crushed the second half. And, yeah, I guess that was a big lesson in, like, getting motivated and staying motivated. And even though you fuck up, even though you messed up, even though you know, hey, I started my workout, but I'm drunk. Oh, God. Keep going. It'll get better. Listen to your buddies. It'll get better. And again, that's one reason I wanted to have you on, man, is because with your channel, again, whether it's like a small food review from years ago or it's something recent that you're doing as far as doing like a mountain bike video, no matter what, you're always focused on getting better. And I know you personally, not just on YouTube. You know, I know you as a person. That full disclaimer, we've been good friends for like 7 years, guys. Yeah. It's like I've known you for a while, and I know that even though in your personal life sometimes you can just like me, you'll be like, fuck, this thing happened, I gotta think about it for a minute. But when it comes to you putting on your show and you putting on your art, you show up. Like that story you told me about you getting sick just now. You fucking show up. Yeah, no matter what. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's, again, that's, you know, I think that's a good copacetic relationship to have with somebody. Someone who just gets up all the time and is always working, always doing what the fuck they need to do no matter what. You know? Yeah. It's very important.
So I guess the lesson here is basically, you're going to mess up. You're going to. It's inevitable, but don't let that stop you. Like, everybody starts somewhere. And that's one of the points I wanted to make. Like, the real big point.
Go ahead.
Like, everybody's got to start somewhere, right? All these YouTubers, I bet you, if you look at one of their first videos, it's going to be absolute crap. And it's not going to be worth watching. But if you fast forward to now, you see that their videos are really, they're interactive with their audience. And, like, they have real solid points for every video they make. And it's gotten better. It's the same with you. Like, you just have to keep trying at it. You just have to, make yourself believe that you got it. You got it. And then once you got that down, all you gotta do is remember your shit.
Yep.
What are you doing? I guess I'm mountain biking today. Or, what are you doing? Oh, I got some lines to remember. Holy shit.
Right. No matter what you're doing, just remember it and get it done. No matter if you have to write it down, say it to yourself a million times, remind a friend about it, remind your girl about it, no matter what. Just make sure you have a reminder to get up and do your shit. If you get up and do your shit, then I promise you'll have a good day. Yeah. It's like day by day. Days where I sit around and don't do anything, I feel like shit by the end. I feel like crap. I'm like, oh God, I need some more weed. I need something to smoke. I need some tobacco. I need some liquor. Oh man, let me go fucking hit my friend up. Maybe he has a plug. Oh, I gotta go to some party. I gotta find some pussy. Blah blah blah. Days where I get the fuck up and go for what I need to go for. Guess what? The pussy's right there. You know, or, I mean, not say, but the female company is right there. The alcohol is right there. Whatever I want at the end of the day is right there. You know why? Because I've earned it. I've earned it, and the female has noticed. Oh, hey, he's been working all day. Let me go hang out with him. Oh, you know what I mean? People notice. Oh shit, he's doing his thing. I got some alcohol. Let me go share it with him. And I realize, hey, I've been doing my thing. I've earned some money. Let me split it with my fucking friends. So it's like if you and your crew are doing what the fuck you need to do every second of every day, doing what the fuck you need to do. I'm slurring my words.
LOL.
LOL. Do what the fuck you need to do. Then you're going to have a good day by the end of the day, man. Like right now, I feel great, and I know I could have done better today. This is me at like 20%. This isn't even me at 100. I think same with my friend Reap here. I don't think this is even us at 100. Yeah. You know, this is just us kind of trying to put our toes in the water and have a decent night. Absolutely. But think about it, man. Imagine if we just every day fucking boom 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 boom, which we do sometimes.
Yeah.
Just boom boom. But imagine that was every single fucking day. Boom boom boom.
I'm not gonna lie to you, like it is kind of difficult to start that up and get in the routine of doing what you gotta do. But once you start it, like and you devote yourself to it, every day it gets easier. Like every day. Because you start to progress, you get new ideas, your mind starts, thinking of all kinds of things, and you'll write this here, write that there, and just every day you get better. Just remember that, audience. And also, for all those heavy alcohol drinkers or drug users, legal drug use, I don't condone illegal drugs for those states, because most of our country is getting legalized for weed.
Yeah, marijuana is a bit different, but right. If you live in a state where, like certain drugs,
you shouldn't be doing heroin or coke or anything.
Right, yeah. I would say, hard drugs, because when it comes to legality, it gets weird. But I would say just like hard drugs. You know what I mean? Like shit that is not good for you.
But if you're doing those things, just remember you can do that anytime you want. Okay, opportunities, they're not always there. So you gotta make sure to hop on those and get the high from being successful rather than get the high from substance.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's gonna run out, bro.
It's going to run out. It's going to, and it's almost like I think if you ask most 5-year-olds, here's a tub of icing. And here is a pound cake that I just made with like whole wheat grain and low sugar. What do you want to eat? The 5-year-old is going to say the fucking icing. Let me get that tub of icing.
Let's make the pound cake a delicious sandwich.
Whatever it is. Whatever. Well, I want to say with pound cake and icing. Because again, pound cake and icing, right?
Those are both sugary fucking.
Not really. See, now we're getting into diet, Steven. Getting into diet on me.
Well, then
let my metaphor stick.
Fine, whatever.
You have pound cake and a thing of icing. All right, and you're in the middle of the fucking woods, and it's a 5-year-old who doesn't know any better. The 5-year-old is going to eat. Again, those are your only two options. That's it. For some reason, a baker his truck tipped over, and he left a pound cake and some icing. That's your only fucking option. A 5-year-old is going to eat the icing every day of the week. Icing's not bad. Icing's fucking good. Icing can be good. It can taste great. And if you're starving to death, you might as well eat some icing. But anyone, again, I would hope someone your age or my age, if those are your only two options. Or it can be a sandwich. It can be a sandwich versus icing. Or it could be anything versus icing or whatever.
Right.
Someone our age is going to take the other option. The option that at least has some bread in it. The option that at least has some iron, some fiber. The option that has some calcium in it. And I think that's and it's more filling. And again, and it's more calories. And it's a better investment. It's just a better investment, right? It's almost like when it comes to this whole YouTube thing, or just making content or expressing yourself thing, creating art. It's like you got to go for the pound cake or the sandwich or the salad first. You can't go for the icing first. The icing is what's on top. And that's what kind of my point about, again, making this content and having a good day by day. It's like, well, like this, when it comes to marijuana, when it comes to tobacco, when it comes to alcohol, that's like the icing. So like that should never come first. Even though you want it first, man. Oh, yeah. You want to make sure at least you have some for the end of the day. You have some if you want some. It's like, that's going to come, bro. If you have a pound cake, if someone has icing, they're going to give you some icing, you feel me? But you need the pound cake. If you're just asking for icing, people be like, nigga, I'll give you my icing for. You want my icing? You got a pound cake and you're willing to share some of that pound cake with me? Here's some fucking icing, nigga. You know what I mean? And again, and that's just how society works. So hey, man, if you've done the work all day to facilitate this pound cake, I will give you some icing for that pound cake, no problem. Take some extra for tomorrow.
Hell yeah! Sorry, I yawned.
It's good, man. Steven's been out mountain biking all day.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying. Obviously, he obviously hasn't been. He's been over here all day.
Don't lie. God damn it.
Pulling a Theo Von. That's one thing I like about Theo Von is that he's a comedian. He's out in LA, he's from like Alabama, but like he just says shit, and like if you know he's lying, he leaves it up to you to figure it out. That's why I love Theo Von. Man, he's a funny dude. But all right, well, shit. I mean, yeah. Anything else you kind of want to say about? Because I don't want to get too deep into your arthritis right now, or too deep into like my weight issues right now. I kind of want to leave that for like another episode. I just kind of want to introduce you to people, myself to people. But anything else you want to say about motivation, getting started, being a good friend, and you know, tribalism, all that stuff? Kind of sticking in a group that fulfills you, and make sure you kind of fulfill that group in a healthy, positive way.
Yeah, there's something. Because it's hard to be motivated when you feel like everyone's judging you, right?
Right.
Well, let me tell you what. In extreme sports, especially, I've noticed, and there's other, types of people that do the same thing. But in extreme sports, when you accomplish something, everybody, and I mean everybody, is behind you. Like, they're rooting for you. They want you to succeed. They want you to make that step into bettering yourself.
Right.
So, like in skateboarding, if you don't know how to do a trick, nobody's gonna really hate on you just because you don't know how to do a trick. Like I said earlier, they all started somewhere too. Like, they went through the struggle of learning how to do their first ollie or whatever. And that's like one of the basic tricks you have to learn for any flip trick for skateboarding. Or for mountain boarding, sorry, not mountain boarding, mountain biking, if there's like a really technical or steep hill that you don't want to go down, they're going to root you on. They're going to be like, you got it, bro, you got it. So that's why I want to kind of like grow the community in not just mountain biking or skateboarding, any extreme sport that you think you would enjoy. I think you should get out there, talk to some people, like, ask them about their stories and how they started and what they had to go through, and just see kind of what you would have to go through, because it's going to be a challenge. That's what extreme sports are about. It's challenging, but once you get past that challenge, it's like, yeah, I got this. It's all about confidence building.
Yeah, and that's one thing about Braille skateboarding. Those guys out, and I'm pretty sure they're in California. I'm not sure how close to LA they are.
Yeah,
they out in LA. Yeah, in California somewhere. As a Virginian, that's all I think about California. Like it's either LA or you're in the mountains. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like, yes, but Braille skateboarding, they are definitely a California-based skateboard company, right, Steve? Yeah.
Correct.
And that's one thing I noticed about them is that they are definitely always behind each other. You know, like you showed me videos of theirs because you're a pretty big fan of theirs.
Oh yeah.
You showed me videos of theirs where they're out like either they're in snow on a mountain somewhere or they're downtown in their workshop in their warehouse doing tricks and stuff. No matter what they're skating on. Or rolling on whatever, they make sure to support each other and say, well, hey man, you didn't get that, it's all good. They're not making fun of each other. They're not. They nitpick at each other. They do like men are supposed to, but they don't. It's not a thing where it's like, here, I'm picking on you because I want you to leave. No, I'm picking on you because I want you to be better at this. Or I'm picking on you because you remind me of myself when I had a problem with that, or I have the same problem with that. It's very constructive criticism. Very constructive. Teasing, you'd say.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important thing not to forget about when it comes to getting motivated is that, hey, man, if you're someone who cares, especially if you're male, I don't want to ruffle any feathers on the non-binary community. I mean, if you want to know how I feel about that, just go check out my Facebook. It'll be linked.
We're about to get on.
It'll be linked in the description.
We're about to get on this.
Yeah. It'll be linked in the description how I feel about that whole thing. But when it comes to gender and all that, but it really doesn't matter too much. But I do think that when it comes to men in particular, or maybe just young people in general, that it is about kind of teasing each other and pointing out one or two flaws. Again, if your buddy is really feeling self-conscious about this one particular thing, don't fucking pick at that. But if there's something even he can laugh about, maybe mention like, hey man, what I'm saying? If your friend just dyed his hair bleach blonde or red or some crazy shit, you might be like, all right, redhead, fucked up that move. It's like you might, like little shit like that. So again, I think little light teasing coming from young people towards other young people, I think can be very very beneficial. And by the way,
it's a little horseplay. That's all.
Exactly. Yeah. And by the way, we're in our early to mid 20s. We're not like 50-year-old guys here. You can probably tell by our voices, but we're not like old men. So I'm not saying young people. I'm saying people our age, our peers, for our generation. It's very important, I think, to nitpick at each other and tease each other in a productive way. And damn, Steven, you kind of pointed out where we're going. But you just kind of wrap ourselves up before we get to our fifth and final point, or fourth point. Steven wrote this one. Do you want to give him? Do you want to hear? Go ahead. Just let him.
Let me tell you, boys. Well, y'all probably the same freaking way. I'm not gonna lie, because a lot of this world, man, I fear for it. I'm actually scared. But anyways, you all know this song. These hoes are loyal. These hoes are not loyal.
Lil Wayne gonna sue the fuck out of me.
Lil Wayne should come over here and smoke a blunt.
Oh my god, dude!
We can talk about some hoes that ain't loyal.
Dude, I'd fucking love that. Get all the views.
Shout out Lil Wayne.
Shout out Lil Wayne. Sponsor us, Young Money.
Come on, yo. Snoop Dogg, come with him.
Young Money, bro.
Yo, what's up?
I'm a big Snoop Dogg fan.
Lil Dicky, I've been waiting to meet your ass.
Yo, dead ass. I want to rap battle you, Lil Dicky. Like, dead ass. LD, let's go, bro. I want to rap battle the fuck out your ass. Let's go. All right.
But anyways. Nah, for real though, I don't know what's up with this generation, or if it's been a lifelong thing between generations. But there's a lot of issues with people being prepared to really commit to a relationship, or knowing if the relationship is good for them or not. Because, like, alright, I'm going to start with this. I have talked to so many females that I thought were cute, and, I kind of just wanted to talk to them, see what they were about and who they are. But they never seem to want to actually hold a real conversation with me. And it's blowing my mind. Because they would, in my experience anyways, they would rather go after a douchebag who says, yeah, I'm the shit, I'll beat your ass, little bitch. Or like, don't make me choke you, bitch. But it's like, why? Why does that attract you? Why do you like that? While I'm sitting over here like, yeah, I understand your feelings. This is what I've learned. This is how I view it. You can learn something or not. Like, I'm real.
I think that some females, and this isn't all, I think some females, they have a thing where they kind of, like, they're trying to match their genes with something. I think all humans are like this, but I think some women kind of like, they're like, some guys are like cavemen. Yeah, and some women are like cave women, where it's like, I need to match my genes with this or that or the third, and a lot of them only look at the physical or like the surface, like the third dimensional shit. Like, okay, this is what he's got, this is what he looks like, this is where he comes from, perfect, boom, 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 check. Now, I think, again, guys do that too. Okay, this is what she looks like, this is how big her tits are, this is what she'll put up with, how long her hair is, this is what race she is, whatever, boom, 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 I'm gonna impregnate that. But now I think when it comes to, like, active humans with like brains and shit, like fully evolved humans, it's like you're looking at like more of the third and fourth dimensional. Okay, well, this is what this person's going to bring into the future. I can't see it. I can't see what's in the future. I can't see what this union is going to result in, but I have a feeling it'll at least be positive. Like, that's what I think we should start going for as in this generation, instead of just the third dimensional. And again, if I do gain an audience, people listen to this, they might be like, yo, what the fuck is RJ talking about? You know, again, maybe fourth dimensional isn't exactly what I'm saying, but you know what I mean? Like the future, like something that's more than just where we're at now, more than just the third dimension, like something that's out there. You know, like you need to, again, a person should, all of us should, I think, look for a partner that's going to, again, simply at least be loyal. Because if you're someone who's loyal, doesn't mean you're a goody two shoes. It simply means, okay, well, you're someone who knows that, well, I'm with someone, we have a kid, we're married, what have you, or we're in a situation where we're together. Probably shouldn't cheat. Simple as that. Simple as that. You don't have to be a saint to do that. There are plenty of people who don't cheat who are still pieces of shit. You can still be a piece of shit, which is certain. I mean, I don't cheat. I'm a piece of shit. Yeah, I don't rob a 100-year-old lady.
And
you know,
I think media is to blame for all this too, because they have really advertised sex as like the biggest thing in the world.
Oh damn, Steven getting into 3 podcasts ahead. Go ahead, though. No, go ahead. No, real shit though.
Well, I won't go too deep in it, but they have really made it to where you can't really do anything unless you're hot or you're sexy.
Oh, you mean like with like the whole? God, this vape is. I don't know if it's malfunctioning, but do you mean like with things like Tinder and kind of the hookup culture and things like that?
Not even that. Just like even commercials. Commercials advertise sex as a big thing, or like fashion. Like you have to wear these certain type of clothes with this certain type of body, but not always so. Like you can be thick and cute too.
Yeah.
Or you can be skinny as fuck and still be cute.
Yeah. It's like, I see what I definitely see what you're saying. It's almost like we're focused on the human form, but we're focused on like an unrealistic kind of version of the human form. You know what I mean?
It's like an exotic depiction of who we should all be, but nobody's really like that.
Right. Not
without some modification.
Right. So without some modification, right. And I don't even, exactly, because I don't think either one of us are necessarily talking about like a certain type of body type or skin color, this, that, and the third. I mean, again, all that comes down to preference, and all that comes down, and some of that is objective. You know, I mean, people do like people who look healthy. People do like people whose skin looks healthy, right? It doesn't mean people always like fair skin. Are always like dark skin. People just like healthy skin.
Right.
People don't, you have to be skinny, you have to be fat. No, people just like people who look healthy. And that's the bottom line. But I feel like my point with it definitely is that with things, hookup culture, Tinder, when it comes to commercials and things like that, we are kind of instilling this idea in our generation where it's like, well, and we kind of have. I mean, our generation is in our mid-20s now, so we kind of have instilled this idea of all that other shit doesn't matter. It has to be this person who's in the magazine. It has to be this guy who's on the screen right now. It has to be this person. It's not a version of this person, but this person. I think that's where a lot of young women, especially, get kind of confused, and a lot of young guys as well. We've all met guys who are like, I only fuck dimes. It's like, well, nigga, you're not a dime. So how are you gonna fuck dimes only? Because you're not a dime.
Oh my
so that doesn't make any sense, you know. We both met niggas like that, and we met girls like that who were more picky, and I just want to be taken care of. Blah blah blah. It's like, well, you're not worth all that. No one is. You've been confused by Disney movies and Hallmark shows and blah blah blah. So yeah, I think that's one big. I think what you're saying, I totally agree with you, man. Like it's a big part of people not being loyal, men and women, is the whole idea that we're just kind of brainwashed by this kind of fairy of porn out here, as Jordan Peterson would say. It's like this, it's not a real thing. It's almost like Tinkerbell with Peter Pan. It's like Tinkerbell, this little,
Peter Pan is too big for Tinker.
Yeah, that would probably fuck you up, man. You ever?
Probably be like a whole dick sleeve. It's a condom.
Yeah, dude, he'd murder her. It'd be death.
Yeah,
it'd be death. She'd be like a human condom for him. It's got dark.
Little eyeballs on the tip.
Like one of those squeezy toys.
Yeah,
those little squeezy toys
damn.
where the eyes pop out left and right. Oh, Jesus.
If she looked like Patrick Star on the end of your tip.
Like Patrick Star. Real shit though, man. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Oh man, that's real shit though. Basically, though, it is. It's like pretty much that's what I think a lot of people are looking for. That weird, almost like Tinkerbell companionship, like this fantasy that's here, but a fantasy's not real.
I'm not gonna lie. If Tinkerbell was life size, yeah. Man, yo, come here.
Here we go. Here we
grab
go.
Them wings, boy.
This is what happens when Steven has a bike for a day. He starts getting this, like, you know what, Tinkerbell, I might fuck Tinkerbell. That bitch thick as fuck.
She's got that sparkly magic. Who doesn't want that?
Woo! Yeah, Tinkerbell is pretty fun, I ain't gonna lie.
But anyways.
For a cartoon. Yeah,
no, we're not supposed to condone that.
Yeah, no, we ain't condoning that. Alright, this is about being real men, mature men. DOS. We good, DOS.
I still have dreams.
I still have dreams. Jesus Christ, no dreams about Tinkerbell. We gotta go. We gotta go back to the original point of the topic, right?
These hoes aren't loyal.
These hoes aren't loyal.
But, yeah. Well, your last point. Was that the last point?
Nah, bro. Let me see real quick.
All right.
Cause I got a thing about the hoes aren't loyal thing. It's really, I guess it's more of a question, since you are like a again, a mountain bike guy who also has like honestly a bit of a background in a little bit of social psychology. Again, not through the academic field, but a place where you've been around people, and you and me have definitely had conversations that have kind of capitalized on those moments where you've kind of been around people, and it's like,
just
okay,
because I'm super observing,
right,
all kinds of shit. So really, I've experienced everything.
Right. I would just say you're someone who's experienced a lot, and you're pretty observant, and that's why, again, I want to have you back on here, definitely, and that's why I had you in here for the first one. You know, you're a good friend of mine, and I know you have a lot of insight. How much of women specifically not being loyal, how much of that do you think falls on men, if any of it falls on men? Again, just talking about our generation, not our parents, our grandparents. I'm talking about just our generation, people who are very young millennials, or maybe older generation X people who are like, again, right now the ages of 15 and 25 right now,
Well, to be honest, it's really hard for me to say, because even as much as I've observed through like all kinds of different people, like all kinds, and they react different ways. They have different ways of getting through shit. So it's really hard to say whether it's men's fault or women's fault, because alright, men kind of fucked it up from the beginning, because we were all always like, women gotta do this, women gotta do that, and like we had a strict viewpoint on what we think women should be doing for us men, and in turn that kind of made them crazy. They got all batshit on us, and they started trying to be like the men. Yeah. And they're doing a good job at it. Okay, you got it. You got your brownie points. You got it, women. But like, chill the fuck out, because really, you're not helping anything. You're just making things worse. Trying to be like us men, the douchebags. Not all men are like that either. Like, there's plenty of good guys you can go out there and right. see and talk to, and feel better about the world. But I think really the main thing is, men and women of the world, please just be yourself. Be a solid human being. Be 100. Because at the end of the day, if you are who you are, then nobody's going to be able to say shit about it.
Yeah, it's a big part of it, man. Just keeping it 100, man. Like being 100% real about who the fuck you are. I think that's a big issue. Like you're saying, a lot of like the women wanting to be like guys. I've noticed a lot of that, man. I've noticed quite a bit of that. You see like the fucking like the girl who wants to be like domineering over men all the time, and it's like like the type of girl who wants to like tell her guy what to do all the time, or exactly like who he can see or what they're gonna do for the night and things like this, that, and the third. And it's almost like I look at all females like that, and I'm like, what happened? Like, what's going on here? Like, why do you think you have to domineer and you have to dominate? Every guy who's around you, not just your guy, but his friends, your father figure, if that even exists there or not. It's like you see a lot of, and again, there's a total male version of this. We're not just beating up. I'm not just beating up on women here. I don't feel like you are either, but it is something to view. in the female population, it's almost like, well, gee, like, what's going on here? That, we have a lot of men who are acting softer and a lot of women who are acting way harder than they need to act. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, so, I mean, basically...
I'm going to let it roll and see if it goes into another one, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry, let me cut you off.
Basically, just, everybody just needs to start working together instead of against each other, because as we can see in the world today, it's not working. Everything's drama, and none of us need that. Nobody needs that.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to go through a day without having stress and just being like, yeah, I had a good day. Nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
But nah, there's always some shit.
It's possible. That's what I mean. It's so, I think one reason a lot of people want it to be like drama all the time is that's what they think their only option is. It's almost like, well, it has to be drama, or else it won't be like a normal day, And it's like, I feel like those people haven't been shown, well, no, it can be a positive day, like every day. And
What'd you say last?
I feel like what did I say last?
Yeah, what's the last thing you said?
Man, nigga, I don't remember. I was just saying some shit about fucking how hoes aren't loyal.
Okay.
Oh, all right. You gotta let it come back, man.
All right.
Gotta let it come back.
That was a whole hour though.
Yeah. But that's it's shit.
Damn.
The longest one I've ever done is actually it's like the longest one I've ever done was like 3 hours. But of course it didn't get published. That was like those little, like when I was doing parts and shit with you, Dakota, Tyler, everybody. I was just doing like little parts. I would pause it and someone else would come in and I would like start it up again and someone else would. So it's like I had like fucking like 10 segments. I never posted it though.
Damn.
'Cause it was mostly just like drunken like background noise and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. I remember it now. Was on basically just people being kinder to one another, and understanding that developing ourselves, I think, is more important than trying to like be with somebody, especially like at this age. You can I hit that? Let me hit that shit real quick. I get the cherry off. No. Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
No. Straightening it out. Calm down.
I'm saying, dude, I don't want to burn the thing. I gotta smoke that.
God,
it's gonna get plastic on the tip.
Man,
the only plastic on any tip has gotta be on my dick, bro.
You're not gonna inhale it.
All right, man. I hope not. I don't know. I inhale a lot of extra shit sometimes.
Yeah. From
the air.
I bet you would.
I do.
Oh, do. I bet. Whatever.
That reminds me, dude. Do you know we all have plastic in our blood? DuPont.
That sucks. Oh yeah, you did tell me that. That sucks.
Yeah, bro. I watched the whole thing on that shit, man. We all have like plastic because DuPont, like Teflon pans back in like the 80s and shit.
No wonder we're so screwed up.
Yeah, really, the whole thing we've been talking about like our generation of girls like being unloyal and like guys
it's
not
DuPont's
being
fault.
It's like like all the mess ups. It might be though. It might be. It might just be a whole bunch of weird neurologic shit happening.
I don't know. Seems to be.
Yeah,
for real.
That's my thing. I'm not sure if our generation really does have problems with loyalty, or if it's just that human beings have always had these problems, and that we just now can focus on it because we're so comfortable. Because human beings, we're all moving forward so quickly, and we're all so comfortable. Maybe now we can actually talk about it because we have time.
I wish we could go back to Pangea. Whatever. I think we should change the subject. This bitch don't know about Pangea.
This bitch know about Pangea. Shit. No. Tell us about Pangea, because who knows? Maybe somebody, maybe like a real like an archaeologist will hear this and be like, "Oh, let me go on the podcast and talk to these young men about Pangea." This can make us money, Steven. Keep going.
This segment is called "The More You Know" with ReapGrimmer.
There we go.
Pangea used to be. It was back like way, way, way back before the dinosaurs even existed, and all that good stuff. Pangea was like our. Basically all the countries were one. It was a whole just one piece of land, and after time, of course, it split apart. Earthquakes, natural disasters, meteors fucking crashing into Arizona or wherever. Or wait, where is it?
What do you mean, like the impact from the...
Yeah, where's that big crater in the U.S.?
Grand Canyon?
No,
that's from a river. Yeah, Grand Canyon was carved by a river.
I think it's Arizona. But wherever, leave a comment. let us know where
I'm about to say, yeah, where the fuck's that at? If you live near there, send us pictures.
But I know there's a giant crater in the Earth right now in the U.S., and that must have done a lot of damage because that hole is big.
Was it like the Midwest somewhere?
Southern Midwest, yeah, kind of. More Western than mid.
Fuck, see, this is why I can't wait till we actually get sponsors and I can afford to hire a tech guy. Because I'd be like, hey, yo, I'd be like Joe Rogan, hey, Jamie, can you look up the crater real quick? Because I'm like, damn, bro.
But I know it's near Roslyn.
Roswell?
Roswell, yeah, that's what
okay, yeah, I do know, okay, because they're famous for, like, the alien stuff.
Yeah.
There's like a natural, like, fucking crater from, like, a meteorite near there.
Exactly.
Somewhere, like, okay, it's fucking shit, dude. God, I'd love to go see something like that.
Same, I would go, I would take a mountain bike in that so quick. Go right down the edge, like, whoa!
I'm gonna say, man, like, I wonder if you need any, like, clearance. Probably not. It's probably just, like, a natural whatever.
I'm sure they got
that'd be great.
Tourist attractions there.
Yeah.
Kind of like Yellowstone.
God, taking a mountain bike down, like, the side of one of those would be really cool. Like, down, like, the side of one of those bowls. That'd be insane.
Yo, Utah's got some crazy mountain biking stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you... like, how do you feel about being, like a mountain biker out in, like, the Atlantic, like, the mid-Atlantic region? Like, are you kind of jealous of some of your, like, colleagues out there in the Midwest? Or people who can, like, afford to kind of travel out there and, like, get some, like, the really cool...
I'm definitely jealous of their bikes and their freedom to just roam around the world and experience different trails. But... the East Coast got some shit too,
We definitely do.
We got trails to ride on, hike on, camp on, whatever have you. It's, it's more woodlandy, and it's a whole different environment from the Midwest and the desert area.
Mm.
So it's, it's interesting either way. So I'm not too jealous of, like, location. I'm more jealous of, or envious of, wealth and being able to do what they do.
Right, yeah. I agree with you on that. I see a lot of that with YouTubers who do stuff that I want to do. Like, I do, like, skits and comedic stuff and acting and artistic shit. It's like just, I'm like, fuck, I really wish I had the budget, to, like, have a whole green screen or to have this or that. But I feel like that shit will come. Like, the point we were making earlier, everyone has to start somewhere. Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I was just wondering about that, like, again, like, a lot of YouTubers who are like near LA or people who, like, grew up in LA. I don't know if they know how, like, lucky they are, really. If you live near LA or around LA and you want to be an entertainer, it's like, yeah, you lucked out.
Oh, yeah.
That's like wanting to be a coal miner and growing up in West Virginia. Like, West Virginia sucks. Well, not if you want to grow up to be a coal miner. Yeah. That's exactly where you need to be if you want to grow up to be if you want to get into the coal industry or, like, the coal power industry, yeah, you better go to West Virginia. You better fucking go to Texas somewhere if you want to be into the oil industry. It's like, dude, so it really all depends on what you want to do. And I think LA and New York are so envious because everyone wants to be a fucking artist. I just don't think that everybody can hack it. I don't think everyone can hack it, and that's real.
Yeah, being brought up in that kind of thing, it really helps.
Mm.
So, just like with anything, like, however you're raised, it's kind of the path you're going to be following. You might, you are who you are. If you do something completely different from how you were raised, then more power to you. Like, go you. You're trying something different. You're really exploring your options. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. I think most people would agree with that. It's just, I guess some people don't really, like, realize the options around them, or honestly, maybe even worse, they might realize them, they can't get to the options around them. It's like, I do think about that. People who have it, like, really, really bad and just don't have the education or the monetary value or even, like, the ability to make the money to get to a place. But I feel like you and I do have, and again, this is something I want to wait to get into maybe next podcast, but you and I do have our obstacles, physical, mental, familial, social, what have you. But we still do have the opportunity to at least make it to that spot, make it to that point where we're, happy. But I feel really bad for the people who can't even make it, who find it more difficult. I don't think there's no can't, but it's like people who find it more difficult to make it to that place than even you and I find it.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, what the fuck do they do? And I guess
Yeah, that kind of goes back to the whole obstacles thing. Like, everybody has different obstacles, but just keep believing in yourself. You'll get there.
Hell yeah. Did you hear about, it's, I'm trying to think exactly what it was. It was... Oh, yeah, the Slender Man thing. This is kind of going off the topic, but it sort of stays in the same realm as far as, like, to continue going with something and continue, you know, to really, like, the will to, like, survive, the will to, you know, make your line go on longer. Man, that little Slender Man girl, it's happened years ago, but, like, they're, you know, they've, I've seen, like, recently, like, some of the interviews have been released, and, people are kind of talking about it again for some reason. I've seen it on a few countdowns, and those girls who like tried to like stab their friend to death, like they were like 12-year-old girls, and they're saying Slender Man told them. And they like yeah. And one thing too, before we even get into that, I think it's really interesting how, and again, these are little kids, so I mean I'm not judging their looks. I mean they're little kids, but it's funny how like the two girls who stabbed the girl, you look at them and it's like. They're struggling. Like, they were struggling a little bit. But you look at the girl who they almost tried to stab to death, and she wasn't really struggling. She looked happy, healthy, cute kid. She was a cute kid. The other two weren't exactly cute kids. And again, I'm not saying that was the reason, but it's funny how the people who want to lash out and do weird, violent things are almost always very unattractive. And their victims are usually, you know, at least, you know, healthy-looking people. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that you focus on that part, but I mean,
I noticed it. I definitely noticed it. I definitely noticed it.
There's something that goes hand in hand there with something, but like, I think it's just, you know, these more unattractive people. They've gotten a lot more shit from people over their life, so they tend to, you know, try to. I don't know. They try to feel better in some way, shape, or form, and sometimes it gets really morbid.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they're so different that they're interesting, and just that little aspect right there of being interesting and weird and outlandish, that's their attention that they feed off of. So they wind up doing some crazy shit.
Right. Yeah. I see what you're saying. It could either be like some like off-color comment, or it could be I'm gonna stab my friend to death in the woods. Like, it's kind of like a spectrum where it's like, you know, most normal people, even if they aren't attractive and they've gotten a lot of shit from people, like they might lash out in this way or that way, or might not lash out at all. They might, you know, again, that's my thing though. I feel like if you are physically unattractive, but you're like, well, I'm not gonna lash out at people for that. Like that's something that makes you attractive. You kind of, I think you eventually end up kind of just being a regular person who's you kind of your view of yourself rises a little bit, but if you choose to kind of lash out. That's when I think you start to kind of make yourself ugly. Again, like the person who wants to say some weird comment because they feel ugly, that's sad and that's a little weak. But people can deal with that, and like people might not think you're hideous for that. But again, I feel like the reason I think these two little girls are even uglier than they probably are is because they stabbed their friend to death. You know, because they allowed that weakness to come out of them, and that's what makes them even. You know what I mean? Like even more objectively not good looking. You know, it's like Jesus.
Yeah, for real though. That makes me think of something. Let me tell the audience. Honestly, all you gotta do is put on a nice smile and feel good about yourself. That's what attractive is. For real. Doesn't matter what you look like. You could have a big nose or like some big lips. If you're happy about yourself, people are gonna be happy about yourself with you.
Yeah. I'd agree with that, definitely. I mean, we all know people like that who just, you know, no matter what the person looks like, if you feel... If you're someone who exudes positive energy, then people feel that way around you. And again, I've known people who are very, extremely attractive, who get it all the time from people who walk up to them on the fucking street and tell them how good looking they are, male and female. But the second that person starts to become just negative, and it might not be their fault. They might have experienced a loss. They might have gone through something. But the second that person starts to just exude nothing but negativity, they start to become unattractive to everyone else around them. And I've seen this happen in real time, where it's like, you know, you make a weird off-color comment to somebody for no reason, and all of a sudden, man, people aren't really treating you the same. You know, they'll give you chances, this, that, and the third. But you know, even the hottest girl, the most handsome guy in the room, it's like, dude, you start being a dick. No one likes that. Yeah. No one likes that.
That's when the switch gets flicked off.
Yeah, it's definitely a switch. Here, speaking of switches, this is my final point. I want to do a shameless plug. And by the way, if you stuck with us this far, thank you very much. Again, this is episode 1, and we're hoping to I'm hoping to improve over the course of a few episodes. I got my partner here, Reap, with me, my boy Steven Plucinik. Again, ReapGrimmer is his YouTube channel. Just going into my final point here, my new series. Shameless plug here. I have a series that I'm bringing to my channel, pretty soon in like the coming weeks, and it's pretty much a show where I want to discuss art media and how that ties to different social issues, not just social issues, but different social concepts that are just inherent in the human condition. So my first episode, I'm pretty sure, is going to be about the Umbrella Academy and the importance of male role models in media, in those male role models relating and creating a good example for boys and young men. And even older men, because I know some older men who haven't grown up quite yet, and that's something we'll be discussing in the episode. Yes. Actually, is older men who've yet to grow up. Go.
I'm so for that, because I love setting a good example. It makes me feel like I'm making a difference in the world. So to talk about it, fuck yes.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, again, hey, your boy Reap here might be making an appearance in that series, but he's definitely going to be on the next episode of Lil Podcast. I think you're a really good guest, and hopefully we'll be bringing some other guests in here. We actually had Marianne already left, but we had someone up here before. And again, we're not famous guys. We might be famous in our little social friend groups, but we're not like these big celebrities. So I don't want you to think, oh, Marianne, the pop singer, but she's a really 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 cool person, and she has a lot of cool stories. So hopefully, if she's coming through town next week, she'll be on the podcast. Maybe give you some insight to what it's like to live in VA and to just be a young person in Virginia.
She could be an R&B singer though, for real.
Yeah, she can sing. She actually can sing. So yeah, it's funny how I did say singer, but yeah, she probably actually can sing. But yeah, keep a lookout for that, my new show. Keep a lookout for these podcasts coming at you. I haven't set up a schedule for these quite yet, but I'm pretty much going to do them whenever I want to. I'm pulling the Joe Rogan thing. Fuck the weekly podcast. Fuck the monthly podcast. Bi-monthly. Fuck that. I'm going to do these podcasts whenever the fuck I feel like them. This has been episode 1. Thank you guys for listening. It's your boy, Richmond's favorite son, signing off.
Hell yeah, boy! I love y'all. Y'all are a great audience. Please subscribe. Yeah. We got YouTube channels. Please subscribe to those. We're going to have some content for you. I promise.
Hell yeah.
I have just a couple videos, maybe a few, 2 or 3. But anyways, there's more to come, and we would love it if you got involved with us and really communicated with us. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, and let us know what you want to see that kind of pertains to our channel and our vibe.
Beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself. Definitely keep in touch, guys. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. ReapGrimmer, it's your boy. See ya!
Alright, guys. That's pretty good, man. Seriously.